Hey, welcome to my grungy painting tutorial. This little picture I'm showing you here was an app I had on my phone that puts a filter over pictures and kind of grungies them up. So that was my inspiration for starting to grungy this painting. So I had already put crackle on, so what I did is I just took some black paint and kind of dry brushed it on there so that the crackles would show through. I wasn't real happy with the color palette of this painting, so I thought adding the black background would be a good thing. So that's what I'm doing here. And after I get the background done, my goal was to antique this painting. So I used some burnt sienna and raw sienna, and I watered it down, and then I just went over the entire painting. You know those old photographs, how they kind of yellowed? Well, that was the effect that I was going for. So that's what I'm doing here. Just going over the entire painting and just kind of being sloppy with it because I want it to look old and grungy. And I have to tell you, this was a really fun way to finish this painting, and I can see myself doing more of this kind of work. As you can see, I like to use my hands and my fingers in moving my paint around. And then I just took a rag and just kind of went over it and so that it's not all even. Here I'm just adding some more red to the dress and then around the halo. And then of course, you have to sprinkle some paint on the painting as well. Here I'm just adding some shadowing in, which I really think added to her eyes and the shadow on her neck. That really helped. So I just used teal and some raw umber and mixed those two together and just created a nice kind of bluish gray, and was adding that to the face here and there. And then if you get it too dark, since I'm putting this on so wet, you can take your brush in just some water, and if you might have noticed, I dabbed it on her forehead, her cheek, the end of her nose, and the tip of her chin, and then used my rag and kind of rubbed it, and it rubs that paint off just so that you don't want the whole face to be flat. So by doing that, those highlights popped back through. So then I just used my heat gun and I made sure it was nice and dry. Now I'm using my China marker and I'm just going over it. The China marker, you probably remember from when you were a kid, but it's waxy. It's fun to put some accents in, and I just wanted some lines and just to kind of define her more, but in a kind of sloppy way, if that makes sense. And I have a white China marker here where I go in and I put some detail in the wings. Just adding some lines to make it look more like feathers. I had considered at that point using the white China marker to put detail in her dress, but then I decided I didn't want it too busy. Now, this next part, I apologize. I thought I was recording and I wasn't. I did a lot of rolling black paint on with my brayer. As you can see, I have it there. And just putting some black paint on it and rolling back and forth, up and down, and then sideways, and then using my rag with some water on it to take off some of that black that might have been a little too heavy in areas. Now I'm using gold paint, golden brand paint, and I'm using a scraper, and I'm just using the scraper to apply it so that there's no brush strokes, there's no definition to it, and the effect is really grungy, and I just love it. And moving it around again with my fingers where I see fit. It's hard to tell here, but that gold paint, you can see it a little bit there, is shiny. So when this is sitting, when the in your home, when the light hits that gold paint, it has a shimmer to it, and it's just beautiful. But look at how that grunginess just brought this painting to life. That texture and the color, and it just, I think it made the painting. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you will use some of these techniques to grungy up your paintings as well. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and click the bell so you have notification when I have a new video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye now.